Welcome to the show, Diego Barraza. You are a producer, director, and filmmaker, the first El Salvador-born director to be admitted to full membership of the Professional Association of Screen Directors of the UK. You are a founder of Sagada Studios Limited, a production company and facility specializing in arts, culture, and heritage films. There is loads more to talk with you about, Diego. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do tell us more.
A pleasure and honor here to be with people for music for global change. Yeah, this is great. Thanks for the invitation. Well, that's what I do. I'm a filmmaker. It's been a journey. In my better days, I say I'm a filmmaker, director, producer. My reality is that I was born in El Salvador, which is also in America, the continent, for those that don't know. And in El Salvador, at the time of my youth, there was the big civil war happening. So that was a bit of a very conflicted situation, and it was the reality I was born into. After that, I kind of grew up, and it was that background noise that was happening. And then I started to soon realize that the world can be very violent, can be very antagonizing, and I'm always been like a visual person, really, with photography, with video, as a film, as a medium too. And I started to work it out that, if I wanted to put out messages out into the world, they have to be things that, bring people together, that bring change, that create something that maybe makes people think, maybe people reflect, make people grow. After being in El Salvador, I did move around quite a bit, as an immigrant too. I did some studies in Chile, went also to Spain. I lived in Spain before moving here to the UK. And in that journey, filmmaking, photography, media, music, that's been my better days. But I've had to do everything and all to keep it going. And I've done from catering to tour guiding to repairing bicycles in my journey. But I've always kept that media and film. I've worked with lots of musicians. Actually, it's something that I do resonate, and I find that it's a good combination, music and images. It's just makes the medium complete. So I've been doing it for quite a while now. I'm very comfortable doing it. I love doing it. I've worked with many people. I've got to travel with it too. And, that's my journey so far. I still plan on working with that, and especially to resonate with people that, want to bring at least reflection. I don't say change because change is a big world to think, we can change everything. I think we can maybe start to move things towards change and personal change, and from there find that growth.
What kind of films do you like doing the most?
I like films that make people think, that make people reflect, that tell stories, but not also tell stories in a way that, it's very brainy, but it's evocative. I find that films that have a poetic quality to them make people a bit like music. Sometimes if it's very literal, it does the work for you. And I think the better films are the ones where the people participate emotionally and come out with a sense of reflection from them.
Yeah.
That don't give easy answers.
Okay. And what do? You take the lyrics literally?
Well, this, there's all sorts of films. I've done documentary, fiction, promotional, the lot. And with musicians, I love it when we there's a space there for creative collaboration, and where you can come together and say, okay, in the sense with musicians, if they're bringing their material up front, and I have to work them and find the images. Then it's a conversation that is different than when I put together a sequence or a film and I have to find a composer, a musician to translate that to a musical landscape.
Also, you have won a variety of awards and accolades over the years for what you actually do, and also obviously with your own production company, what you do is very bespoke. Is that right? Is that true to say?
Well, I've tried to center it a bit. That's my way to start find the people and the work that resonates with me. I'm kind of very inclined with people that work with culture, heritage,
Right.
and the arts.
Yeah.
And I think it's became even more clear during the pandemic, the importance of the arts in, nurturing humanity. As I said, as an immigrant, I've had to do everything, and that includes in the film business, where a lot of the projects have to be I've had to do very corporate, very somewhat boring projects. I think every project has its own interest and and its magic. In everything you learn different things, and I don't put anything down. I'm privileged to do what I do, so any work I don't put it down. But I found that if I do something bespoke, specialized, and work with that people that are in those sectors, I find myself more comfortable, and I can give more.
Well, now we did a video together, music video.
We did in the pandemic. It was an interesting process because that theme was evolving too.
Yes,
That piece.
tune was called "Stay Positive."
That's it.
Hey, gotcha. All right. Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
And it can be, I think that was the perfect message for the time. Skyler, you hit it in the nail in the head, as they say. Le diste al clavo.
Yeah.
Because I think during pandemic, everybody was just a bit, anxious, scared, and nobody knew what was happening. I think a lot of us still don't know what's happening. But we keep positive, I think that's a great message to
Yeah, well, you have to stay positive, no matter what, right?
And I think there's still lessons to be learned about that time, and a lot of reflecting that needs to happen.
With regards to the Stay Positive video, I know you guys obviously worked on that yourselves. Did that present it as the producer and as the sort of producer behind that? Did it present its own kind of challenges because obviously Skyler wasn't in the same location? You have to. I suppose a lot of the things that you did at that time must have had to have been done slightly differently because you couldn't go all of you to one location to do that. Was that quite a challenge for you?
Well, the whole world was upside down. So all those producing, filming, there was no route map really. I think here we were a bit lucky with the government. For some reason, it declared filmmaking essential.
Right.
So there was still a lot of filming happening, but it was a lot of start-stop, where they would cancel a shoot, close a studio, do a lot of screenings and test every time. And so I was a lot of shifting of plans, and everything started to move towards the online collaboration space, which was that was a quick learning curve. But it did give rise to a lot of interesting things, at least audiovisually, to a lot of people were doing concerts from their living room and, keeping each other company a bit. We met with Skyler with the work that was, the Stay Positive track. And we were collaborating with other people online and, exchanging ideas to another Zoom meeting was one of those. But we live in that world now where, the magic of just, being in contact and working together, and also bypassing the major media. I think that's something not to take lightly, where we can bring out this music, bring out this film without the main, the big studios kind of, or the big conglomerates overseeing. Of course, it's an industry, but I think at least where I come from, which has always been from the margins, it's always been finding that space for those voices that maybe are not so much heard, and to bring, those messages, those stories that also need to be told. It was a reckoning for a lot of people, and I think there's still, work to be done about that. At least from our terrain as creators, as people that work with the arts, as people that work with film, with bringing programs like this out to hopefully liven up the conversation and see what's our purpose and mission at the moment. What is the situation calling us to do?
Founded your own studio here in the UK.
I came to Europe with as an immigrant, basically, and from there I've been building up my work and my situation here. I've been in the UK now for 25 years almost. It's been a journey. And I think the studio now is from 2014. I've kind of really built it up as an enterprise. Before I was more working in projects, freelancing, working by contract. And now as a creator, I find that having a space, a business, a brand too, that people can engage with and take many different types of projects under an umbrella, some for development, some for production, create and distribute things. It's been better, but it really started at least as a base here in the UK in 2014. I did a documentary on yoga philosophy and practice and history, which opened up a lot of doors and really kind of built up what I was doing. So I think that was really paramount in kind of leading a project from production side and also from the artistic creator side. Gave me a bigger scope of working as a production company. And from there on, I haven't looked back, really. That really kind of, as I said, opened a lot of doors, and I think it was kind of finding my voice too as a creator and doing long form projects.
Do you pick like topics or things that resonate with you?
I do. I'll always, it's like everyone. We have a lot of interest. We have a lot of subject matter that kind of calls us. As a creator, as a producer, as a director, it is keeping that kind of sense of that. I always say a bit of a seamstress box of different elements that you keep, collecting, and some you build something, you create something from that. Some you keep there, but they're always calling your attention, and they're always in the back of the head. Sometimes the opportunity arises for and the finances, the sponsorship, the development for. It's keeping projects in different states of production always, or development. So I have a slate, basically, where things are in different states of development and of coming together.
What are you working on now?
I've been working with a Turkish writer who's based in Brighton, and it's a drama script feature, which has been a bit of a year and a half in development, and it's been submitted for different calls for financing. It's with the long form. The biggest problem is the financing, as always. I have another project which is a musical about with an English writer, which is takes on a crew and a band of friends that revived their old breakdance crew.
Oh wow!
So it's a musical film too. That's in script development too. A bit of a nostalgic journey about the time of the breakdance crews. I'm also working on a documentary too about borders and Brexit. At the same time, I was doing an edit too on a project for a German producer too, working on the. It's a documentary on a lady who was very influential in the 70s and was a bit the center of kind of bohemian nightlife culture in Berlin. It's always a variety. I'm working too here with a lady that has a YouTube series of programs. It's always working on different projects. Sometimes my head goes a bit all over the place with them, but finding the structure of them.
Yeah,
keeping tab of them.
Difficult to actually keep all of it in check in all different different categories, is it? Or is it you quite used to You must be used to working that way.
It can be. It's one of those things. It's like working all the burners on the cooker.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
How do people see what you're doing? Is there any kind of sort of social media platforms that you?
Yes,
you're on?
I have a website. I'd love to collaborate again with some of the people of your audience here, all the musicians, artists. I'd love to, as the work that I do as musician is all about collaboration. I have a lot of things online there on my website, saguardastudios.com. Talk to me. Let's collaborate. Let's bring your ideas. This is what I've been working on, and maybe there's spaces there for development of work. And I have all the social media, Instagram too, Saguarda Studios, Facebook, all of them. So happy for people to contact and talk about music, global change.
We'll put those links for you on the bottom of the video.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think some of the most interesting things that I've done is has to do with kind of maybe social issues, expanding consciousness, certain ways. I've collaborated with artists. We did this project with I don't know if there's Matthew Kelly, who used to play for the Grateful Dead, and through the yoga documentary, I was friends with Danny Paradise, who among others taught Sting yoga and taught yoga to Eddie Bader from Pearl Jam. And he got us into a project with Matthew Kelly, who had a foundation in Thailand for stateless children. And we went and created some material exposing a bit the situation there that ended up with a music video too that was presented by the UN and headed the campaign for recognition of the situation of stateless children in the border between Burma and Thailand. So that was a little example of things of how you can use music, how you can use film to bring the issues to the table and start trying to work with them. Through media too, I've worked with indigenous groups there in Central America. I was teaching a program with the UN too, with indigenous groups of South America, to teach selected youth from different indigenous minorities and teach them skills to use the power of media so that they can take a hold of them and use social media, use the tools that technology offers now. That's very accessible for them to also be represented, to tell their stories, to be present, to say we're here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to come on our show.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us today.
No, it's been great. I love what you guys do. I think you have a beautiful cause, a beautiful program, and keep it going.
Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all get together, music can save the world. Yeah. Music can save the world. Music can save the world. If we all come together, music can save the world. There's an urgency facing our humanity.
Thank you so much for watching. To stay up to date, please click subscribe and hit the bell. You can also join our group on Facebook and find us on LinkedIn and Instagram.